Hi Aries, this is going to be a part 2 for the reading that we already have started. I don't know what the title is going to be for it, but it will say part 2 in the title of this reading. Just to give a quick summary of where we are, we see King of Pentacles, Two of Cups, the Hermit, Knight of Cups. What this looks like is somebody that we are going to call the King of Pentacles so as not to make this more confusing than it needs to be. The King of Pentacles is in a place within their life where they are looking for connection. They're looking for intimacy. They want to be close with somebody, so they can really be thinking about like somebody that they've connected with before, that they may want to sort of recreate that type of dynamic. Or even King of Pentacles can be like, I'm here within my life now, and so I'm ready for a connection, even though that may not have been the case before. And so King of Pentacles is then really thinking about, like, just thinking about this. I'm in this position now. I'm looking for the sense of connection. I want to be able to like share my life with somebody right now and be able to be close with someone. And so I'm seeing King of Pentacles thinking about this and then reaching out to the person that's on the receiving end of this. Okay. So you have this person come through. The person on the receiving end is looking a bit defensive, or looking a bit like not necessarily the most welcoming to this message coming inbound. Why is that? It looks like King of Pentacles and person that is receiving the message had something happen between them in the past, and it could have left things like very sour within the dynamic. And so it looks like, you know, if something went down between you and another person and things were just like weird between you guys, or upsetting, or whatever, disappointing, whatever it was that happened between you and this person, it feels very much like the person that's on the receiving end of this message is reminded, when the King of Pentacles comes through, of sort of what had gone down between the two of them. And so the person on the receiving end is a bit like, I'm not just gonna let you come through here and disappoint me again, you know, or come through here and hurt me again. It just feels like it brings up a lot of memories initially for the person that's on the receiving end of this, and that's sort of their initial, they're not initially like, yay, this King of Pentacles is reaching out to me. This is somebody that's like, this person's reaching out to me, what do they want? And I do feel like King of Pentacles is in a different space within their life than they had been before, where this is not just a, like, on a whim, them reaching out to the person that's on the receiving end. It looks like King of Pentacles, they're like pretty stable within their life right now. They really can make a commitment to somebody, like having somebody consistently within their life. They've really thought about this before they reached out to the person on the receiving end. The person on the receiving end, I don't think that they know this, but even if they did, it just feels like person on the receiving end sees the message coming through, or the like reaching out coming through, and that person on the receiving end is initially like, hold it right there. And it feels like King of Pentacles is reaching out to this person and saying, do you want to reconcile? Do you want to connect? Like, I want to see you. I want to, like, that type of thing, you know, where it's trying to initiate a relationship, or to like connect again within one another's lives. But the person on the receiving end just sees initially what's going on, and it feels like based off of the message. So I don't know exactly how King of Pentacles words this to the person on the receiving end, but the person on the receiving end, whatever it is that they read within the message, or whatever it is that they read or interpret as far as what's being communicated, they look at that and they think, if I give this person a chance and we do reconnect with one another, I don't feel like what I'm looking for in my life right now, they are going to be bringing to the table. It feels especially like on a social or like emotional level. And so we have Eight of Cups here, which is this person potentially being like, that's not something that I want, I'm not interested. Having Three of Cups would be that potential to reconnect with the person. Eight of Cups is somebody looking at that and being like, oh, like we were close before and then this stuff happened. And Eight of Cups is feeling like I've already resigned that idea. Like, you know, I've already sort of given up on that, or I'm not really looking for anything with this person anymore. That's very much what I'm seeing going on here. I feel too like when King of Pentacles reaches out to the person that's on the receiving end of this, the person on the receiving end just remembers sort of what happened, and that may not feel like a great memory to be coming up. This doesn't feel like, wow, I'm feeling so nostalgic when this person reaches out to me. This feels more so like I'm remembering what happened between this person and myself, and it's bringing up a lot of heavy stuff for me. And this person may be in a place where that's not something that they want to take the chance recreating. I'm not saying that King of Pentacles, it does feel like King of Pentacles is in a different place, so I don't necessarily see that playing out, but it just feels very much to me like whatever it is that King of Pentacles says to the person specifically that's on the receiving end of it, it feels like it's not enough to like incline the person on the receiving end to open themselves up. And I don't know if they would be like that regardless of what's being said, or it has to do specifically with how King of Pentacles reaches out to them, but it feels like something along the lines of that. Initially, anyway. I don't know if the person on the receiving end is really actually going to not want anything to do with this, or that's just more in the that maybe what they're thinking about, like, will I find what I need here? That can be just something that's being considered, something that's being thought about. Yeah, you guys have not been in contact for a while, is what this looks like. For a while. So you haven't talked to this person recently. So King of Pentacles, thinking about reaching out to this person, it feels like this would have not been on the person on the receiving end. It would not have been on their radar that King of Pentacles was thinking about them. Having Hermit and having the Moon is somebody that can be like lurking a little bit, and this can be like in their memories that they're lurking, or like looking back at old pictures or text messages, or even like looking somebody up online, looking the person that's on the receiving end, looking them up online. Like it can be that type of thing that happens with the Moon and Hermit, but it wouldn't, like, the person that's on the receiving end, they wouldn't necessarily be aware of that. Like their King of Pentacles would go to like lengths to make that stay private. Like they wouldn't be, until they want it to be known anyway, and they do end up being known. It's not like this person is just like lurking in the dark and they're not going to say anything. I am seeing them say something. It just feels like they didn't want to be seen or maybe known that they were doing this until they wanted to be known. And maybe too, that's because they were trying to figure out, like, is this a good idea or not? They could have really been thinking about that, is what it seems like. Like, I want to figure out, like, should I be reaching out to this person? Like, do I miss them? Do I want to reconnect with them? If I show up and say I can do this, like, can I really do it? It's like that type of thing, it seems like. So not wanting to sort of like blow their cover until they were ready to like make that move and be known and like actually have the interaction. I'm seeing Virgo placements, I'm seeing Pisces placements. I did also see Aquarius twice, but it didn't come out. Oh yeah, person on the receiving end still feels They're not trying to get hurt. I think that they're still upset about what happened, or still hurt by what happened. They can feel like it wasn't rectified, or like it wasn't healed, or it wasn't addressed, like that type of thing. That's what I'm seeing. And they can feel like this just brings all of that back up when King of Pentacles reaches out to them. That's what I'm seeing very much so here. I wonder too, like for some of you, if something happened between King of Pentacles and you, or you and this person that you're reaching out to, something happened between you and this person, and then there's an attempt to reconnect without addressing what had happened. That can also be where some of the issue is. Like there can be a message that's being sent, but no like apology for what had happened, or like not even a recognition of what had happened. It can be like that type of thing, and that can be why the person on the receiving end is not receptive to it. Like, oh, we're just going to sweep that under the rug like it didn't happen, and that's still something that I feel hurt by, and you're not even going to bring it up. That can like be part of this as well. It really just depends on what happens with you and this person, and like what's specifically being said, because I am seeing it be a genuine move on the end of the King of Pentacles, but then the person that's on the receiving end, it does feel like they got the, like maybe the brunt of things emotionally within the dynamic. So they could have felt like more impacted emotionally. They could have felt like they were more involved emotionally and got more hurt in that sense. I'm not saying that it's like that, but that can be the perception of the person. Like I was the one person on the receiving end can feel like I was the one that was more vulnerable, and now you're coming through, and would I just be putting myself basically like in harm's way again? Or are you even going to be able to show up and bring something into my life that I can connect with? Or is this just another like empty-handed thing? Weirdly enough, this almost feels a little bit open-ended, though. And maybe it's going to be the variable for each of you. Maybe for some of you, the person that's sending the message, the person on the receiving end could be possibly receptive. I mean, to have Three of Cups and to have the Sun, it can feel like something is made right. I do want to say this though, just to give you like a complete, just anything that's coming through, like any details. For some of you, this is somebody that you could have had something happen with it. Well, you did have something happen with you and this person. Somebody initiates contact with another person. There ends up being a like, okay, we're okay now, like that type of thing. But then like, let's move on now. So it can be one of those things where there wasn't closure between you and this person, or there wasn't an apology. And then that like apology happens, or that conversation happens, and then you guys are going to leave it at that. This may not be a continuation of the relationship. This can be more so of like, now this can close out. For some of you, again, I'm not saying that be the case for everybody, but for some of you, that is something that's going to happen here. But what can also take place is that it can feel like moving forward no matter what. So that can be, okay, we're entering into a new era with one another. And for those of you that you're on the receiving end of this, you can even take that person coming through and be feeling like that's maybe what you needed to release this. That can also be something too, regardless of whether or not you're going to say anything back to them. Maybe this was like what you needed too. Where is this going? Maybe this will be the variable for each of you, like what ends up happening. I'm seeing regardless there's going to be a moving forward, so whatever had happened isn't really going to be a thing anymore. It's not going to feel like that. So it can feel like, I don't know if moving forward is going to be, we'll be in each other's lives now and it'll work and things will be fine, or moving forward means thanks for the apology, let's go our separate ways. I think that like that's going to be the variable within the reading. Because it feels very much like King of Pentacles needed to initiate this. The person on the receiving end is then going to figure out where they are emotionally and then what they want to do in response to this happening, and then figure things out from there about what they feel like is really best moving forward. And also if they feel like they can, if you guys decide mutually, I can get something that I need from this, or like this is something that's going to be valuable for my life. And it feels to like maybe even at that point, if this is something that's being entertained, there can be a conversation about expectations and whatnot. I do feel like because I'm not seeing an ace here, but because I'm also not seeing a 10 here, I feel like it can really go either way, and it's just going to depend on what everybody decides they want with this. Yeah. I'm also seeing Leo. I'm seeing Virgo. I'm seeing Pisces. I'm seeing Leo. If you're in this position and you feel undecided, the encouragement is for you to ask the questions that you need to ask, or like have the conversations that you need to have in order to figure this out. I'm seeing like different things happen with people depending on the energy that they're in. Like for some of you, King of Pentacles is going to reach out to the person on the receiving end and they're going to be like, I haven't healed from this and I don't want this person coming back into my life. For others of you, King of Pentacles is going to reach out to the person on the receiving end and they'll be like, they'll be kind of moved on from it, but they feel like they're in a better place where they can allow this back in their life if they deem that appropriate. And they are probably going to want to ask questions. What I'm not seeing is the person on the receiving end immediately being like, yeah, come right back into my life. That's not going to be what happens. Regardless of whether somebody says absolutely not or maybe, that thing is going to depend on, it feels like the individual and sort of where they are within their healing process, and if this is something that they will allow back into their lives. And for some of you too, this was one of those things where you connected with this person very in a close way in the past with them, and the person on the receiving end can just be in a different place where they're not really looking for that, or they don't think that they are anyway. But some of you too, the person on the receiving end, they still imagine King of Pentacles as being who they were back then. And both of you guys are actually in a different place where it will be something different that's manifested between the two of you if you guys decide to open a chapter with one another. But it really just depends on sort of like where everybody is with this and then what's decided on based off of that. I'm seeing like different outcomes essentially for each person. It feels like a bit redundant to go into all of it because it's really just going to depend on your situation. But if you want to work things out with this if both like this. If both people want to work things out with one another, I'm seeing that be a possibility, and it's something that chapter will then begin. For those of you that not everybody is on the same page, this can be a moment where you guys like really do go your separate ways, and this is something that's like not revisited right now. It can be like that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing is going on. I also too don't know what exactly your dynamic is with this person. Like for some of you, this could have been somebody that you were friends with in the past. For some of you, it could have been someone that you were dating. For some of you, this can be like an ex or something like that. It can be like somebody you were married to at one point in time. It just, for some of you, this can even be like a father figure that's coming back in. But yeah, it's lots of different ways that this can be taking place, and lots of different people. So if you're like already in a relationship and you're not like looking for an ex to come back or something like this can be like an old friend or something like that you guys had a falling out with. I'm definitely seeing that this is not somebody that's currently in your life. This is somebody that was in your life in the past. You guys are not in contact anymore, and this person will be breaking contact to reach out to you. And it will be heartfelt, at least them feeling like they're wearing their heart on their sleeve when they communicate with you, if you are the one on the receiving end of this. That's what I'm seeing. And for some of you, it's going to be like, let bygones be bygones, and you guys are actually going to be making up with one another, and then actively try to see if you can be in one another's lives again. But for others of you, I'm seeing the person on the receiving end not be willing to let the other person back in. And they have good reason. I'm not seeing it be out of spite. It's because if the person on the receiving end does not allow the person, King of Pentacles, to come back into their life, it's because they genuinely don't think that they're like compatible anymore. That's the reason why. So that's what I'm seeing here. So it's not like the person's still mad or whatever, and that's where it's coming from. Not that anyone's aware of anyway. This will be more so like, I thought about it and I don't think that would work. But that's not going to be the outcome for everybody. I'm seeing it's not the same outcome for everybody. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.